and you're all brothers. No one on earth can call you Father. You have but one Father in heaven. Do not be called Master. You have one Master, the Christ. The greatest among you must be the servant. Whoever exalts himself will be humbled. Whoever humbles himself will be exalted. The Gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. Let's talk about God today. You figure, well, somebody's talking about God every Sunday. You gather, every daily Mass you get together at. But there's something different about God in the Scriptures today. He's, okay, I didn't say he, but he's not a gender. But God, as the Creator, appears in Malachi today. He appears in Thessalonians through Paul. And of course, Jesus is saying, he didn't say, don't call anybody on earth God. Don't call anybody on earth Father, because you only have one Father, and that's the one in heaven. So the role of God is what we're looking at today. However, we got to be, let the, when something is obvious, just got to say it. That first reading, if you listen to it, it's directed to the priests and those who run the show. And in Malachi's words, they're a bunch of hypocrites. There's not a complimentary word about priests in that first reading. We're not talking about the priests of Jesus Christ, us, okay? We're talking about the priests who ran the temple. But we can certainly appropriate the concept of being about God's work, not your own work. That's what he's telling the priests of the Old Testament. But we, and I'm going to say you and me, because we're members of the priesthood of Jesus Christ, not the ordained priests. You all became priests, prophets, and kings when you were baptized. Those are the words of the baptismal ritual. So some of us got ordained priests later on in life as individuals when we had chrism put in our hands and we made our promises to our bishop. But the priests he's talking about were basically on the take. And if there were verdicts that needed to be passed and they were the judges, a little bit on the side would have gotten you a good case. So that's what Malachi is talking about. He knows, in his words, they're violating the covenant of God. Now, you and I are still in that covenant, by the way. Paul refers to us today as, I think, be realistic. Just be realistic. And he's talking about himself, like I was when I came to you. I didn't live off you. I worked for a living. Sometimes people look at priests, Catholic priests, and say, "Oh, you're a priest. You don't work for a living, right? You're a priest." So, no, we don't work for a living. But the ministry is what he's talking about, was his work. His preaching the gospel was his work, but he also had a job. He was a tent maker, and he sweat under drudgery. But he did that so that he could preach. He did that drudgery work so he could carry on the message of God. And what is the message of God? Very clearly, it's Jesus Christ. So Paul and Malachi are both talking about how to minister. Paul is focusing on how he ministered, rolled up his sleeves and did God's work, so that he's talking to his people of Thessalonians, so that you could meet Jesus Christ. And you did when you got baptized. This is Paul talking to his Thessalonians, but he could be talking to us. Because when we were baptized, we received Jesus Christ, and we became part of the priesthood of Jesus Christ. Again, not the ordained priesthood, but the family of the priesthood of Jesus Christ. And our work is, as Paul talks about himself doing, to proclaim God unceasingly. Sometimes you see it on TV when newscasters, okay, they have a big accent and somebody's being interviewed, and then they go back to the person at the desk, and 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 often they say, "Oh, they're in our thoughts and prayers." Okay, nobody makes a big deal about that. That's personal. You want to say that, but do you realize how significant that is? When you say those words, "You are in my thoughts and prayers," that tells you that I put your name before God. And if we say that to someone who is ill, we better roll up our sleeves and mean it, which means telling God, watch over this person. Keep this person in your prayers, in your blessings, whatever the prayer is. But we have the power to be the priests who offer sacrifice of our own sacrifice and our prayers to God. So when someone says, I'll keep you in my thoughts and prayers, mean it. Mean it. And don't just take it as beautiful words. And to conclude, we want to make sure that when we tell people we're praying for them, we don't get the credit. Jesus made that clear tonight. You know, the rabbis, they want to be hot stuff, they want to be reverenced, they take big seats of honor and all that good stuff. No. When you do something charitable, when you do something prayerful, you're not going to get credit for it. The blessings are between God, the person you prayed for, and you. You don't go around saying, I prayed for you. It's more like, I prayed for you.